Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining me for my first live stream. I do appreciate it. I want to give a few shout outs. I have MCDC, MCDJ ACDC, and M3 reviews are going to be joining us and listening while at work. But thank you for joining me. Today we're taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom War for Cybertron tracks. And I have to admit, I have kind of mixed feelings about this bot. But that being said, we'll take a look at them and see what everybody else thinks. Again, thank you for joining me. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do all those things you can do to help my channel grow. I do appreciate it. Any little bit helps. So it looks like we got a few people joining us. We got M3 Reviews is here, as well as Jonathan Walker. Thank you for joining me, guys. I do appreciate it. So first thing we're going to take a look at today is the packaging. And I do like it. It's got some wonderful box art on it. It does really look fitting for the character. Trax has been one of my favorite characters. Not the favorite, but definitely a must when it comes to any kind of Transformers line, especially if you're referencing back to G1. Hey, Jay Holla. Thank you for joining me. But there's the back of the package. You got your obligatory product shots, 21 steps. You got your typical Kingdom artwork on the side, but these two drawings do make an amazing box. In the package, you do get your typical Kingdom instructions in the white and green. You do get a card. In this case, I got Black Arachnia, followed by Black Arachnia. If you're into that, there you go. Nice card. As far as accessories go, he does come with his blacklight or blackout gun, whatever you want to call it. And he does come with his shoulder cannons. They're done pretty well. A little bit of gapping, as you would expect, but I mean, for mainline, they really aren't too bad. Hey, Trans Aaron, how's it going, buddy? What's up, Kato? Thanks for joining me. That brings us to the figure. And I have to admit, as far as alt modes go, this is one of the better alt modes in Kingdom, to be honest. I'm wondering if they really had to get the licensing from Chevy in order to do the Corvette like this. It is very reminiscent of the 80s toy. Got some nice painted silver rims. Nice details. Got some venting on the side. Clear windows. Coming across the front. Nice black detail on the front. Very well sculpted. I do wish it had some yellow on the flames like the original, but beggars can't be choosers. Coming down the side, much of the same. Coming to the back, I really do wish they would have put some taillights on here, but it is very nicely sculpted. There's the view from the top and the view from the bottom. Definitely a robot hidden in there. But, I mean, it really does look the part as far as tracks. Looks amazing. Let's do a few comparisons. Here he is with Earthrise Streak. And there you go, run amok. So he scales really well. And just in case you're wondering, there he is with a masterpiece size car. So, I mean, he is a deluxe class, So he's going to be somewhat smaller, but I still think he looks good. As far as his accessories for alt mode, you can, if you want, attach his shoulder cannons. And if you're really feeling crazy, you can even put the black light gun on top. If I can do it. There we go. So that is an option. But overall, I think the alt mode is done really, really well. Except for a few minor things. I have the typical fenders that don't want to stay in, but I think that's just going to be straight across the line. I think everybody's going to have that problem. And it does roll perfectly fine. It's a great, great alt mode. No complaints. M3, what are you ordering? You ordering tracks? Let me know if you guys have any questions. All right, so let's get on to transformation. First, we're going to show the flying mode. It's fairly simple to get into. The hardest part is actually breaking the connection on the arms because the connections are tight. But you want to simply just pull out your arm, bring the whole assembly up, bring your wing out, and give the arm a twist. Do the same thing over here. She is tight. He has wings, M3. He has wings. And just get your wings in the position that you like. And lastly, bring up your fins. And there you go. I really do enjoy the flying mode. I think I may actually leave him in this mode, to be honest. But he does look good. Got the nice red and yellow on the arms. I do wish the wings would have had some red coloring. I do miss that. And the tail as well. Just being white, they're kind of bland, to be honest. But it looks good. Sadly, there's no location on the bottom to put a stand on them, but if you're like me, you can improvise. Again, you can bring in your accessories. And have them fully armed up. And of course, he is blast effect compatible here on the back of the arms. You've got 2 ports. And there you go. Tracks in a hurry. I don't want to buy 2 M3. One's enough. Yeah, Jay Holla, the legs are kind of tricky. Definitely. I'll probably mess it up during the transformation, just so you guys are aware. But overall, the car mode and the flying mode on this guy are pretty amazing, to be honest. Now, let's go ahead and get into robot mode. Now, this is the portion where you want to be careful because this entire section is just simply made of that brittle, clear plastic. And it is tight. It scares me every time I transform it. But get the arms out of the way just to give yourself some room. And I've found it easier to undo this because it's so tight. It really is a bear to clear this joint here. So go ahead and separate this connection here, pull up on the side of the doors, and separate this connection here to loosen the windshield from the car. And go ahead and bend the legs a little bit, just to unhinge everything, and that will allow that joint to come clear very easily. Go ahead and stow this, give it a twist around the back of the head, get your fin stowed, and keep it back here for now. Now comes the tricky part. So you want to make sure with the feet that they're turned so that when they come around the other way, they'll be flat on the ground, because if you don't, you're going to have to retransform the entire leg. But separate your legs, open up these panels, swing the feet around. While you're doing so, extend the leg. And then there's a peg here that will go into that port there on the shin. And I'll show that again. The important thing is to make sure that when you're moving the leg around, you want to move away from the hood. But make sure your door's open on the back. Swing this backwards. Pull the leg out. Swing the leg down all the way. Make your connection there. Go ahead and rotate the waist. This part's a little tricky, but you want to push the chest out. There's a pin here where if you push on it a little bit, it will help get that out. Now this will fold up, and if you see this peg right here, it'll actually go up into this section of the chest, and you'll feel it snap in when you're done, when you got it right. And there you go. Push the chest back in because you've got another connection right here. And we're in the home stretch. This peg on the backpack will go into that hole there. So make sure you've got everything collapsed. And we just simply need to pull the hands out. Adjust our wings and our arms. And there we have Trax in his bot mode. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably my least favorite of all the modes. I'm not a fan of the huge fenders on the legs. I mean, I know the character is known for that, but it's never in my memory extended that far up above the knee. But he is nicely painted. Again, we've covered the arms. The face sculpt does look really good with the red, white, and then the little tiny gray accents on the side of the crown. The head is on a ball, limited just due to the body and the sculpt. You can't really even do a full 360. Just a little bit of turn each way. But you can get a little attitude, which is nice. Shoulders, they can go all the way up. You do have the ability to adjust the wings. They can do a full 360. Single jointed elbow for 90 degrees. Swivel above the butt, or just above the elbow. The hands, they are fixed, but they do have a little in and out due to transformation. But they're sculpted nicely. I like the detail on the wings. A lot of good molded detail there. The yellow and red, reminiscent of the G1 toy in the cartoon. Looking at the chest, nicely detailed. Love the Autobot symbol. And then the painted faux glass looks really good. Coming down to the waist, you do have waist rotation. You can lift the hip skirts out of the way so you can go that far up, that far back, that far out. So he's got plenty of leg articulation at the hips. It's important to note my hips were very, very loose. I mean, it was just flop city if you wiggled them. But I put some Kiki in those joints there, and it's actually tightened up quite a bit. I'm actually happy with that. You got a thigh cut. You're limited to 90 degrees on the knee. It can go backwards for some reason. And then the foot, you do have up and down and the rocker, just because it is simply on a ball. But the detail on the legs is nice. Again, we've got the stamp there on the shin, which beautiful decision there, Hasbro. But they are nicely detailed. You got some pegs there if you want to put some blast effects on. Feet got some detail on them as well. Not much paint, really. I mean, you've got some paint here on the head, on the arms, and there on the crotch, on his no-no square. But that and the wheels, that's about it. He does have a big old backpack. I mean, there's a lot of gappage there. But he doesn't look too bad. Anybody got any questions? Ken, you returning it? Your arm fell off when you're transforming it? That sucks. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some third-party upgrades. There are a lot of Cybertron Siege figures that have loose joints, but I agree. M3. An 8 out of 10, Jay Hollow. That's being pretty lenient. I'd give him probably a 6, maybe a 7. 7 because of the alt modes, but the bot mode is it's a little disappointing. But let's go ahead and bring in some comparisons. There he is with Earthrise Prime. And another Deluxe with Smokescreen. Size-wise, I think he does a pretty good job. Let's get those out of the way. And as I bump the camera, sorry about that, I'm going to bring in my other versions of tracks. We'll go from big to small, left to right. I mean, the lack of any kind of color here on the shins, that's something that Toy Hacks really needs to get on. It's pretty bland, to be honest, and they need to cover up the damn red print sticker. But he looks okay. Let's go ahead and put his shoulder cannons on. We'll give him his gun too. So not too disappointing. Just the lack of color is the biggest standout here. I'm definitely expecting Toy Hacks to do some major upgrades, but it's not too bad. But again, the alt modes are my favorite versions of this guy. Anybody have any questions? Let's go through chat a little bit. M3, you think he looks great? Diego's a cold, old brutal child. Okay. My pleasure, MC. Are you taking off? Yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is pretty high. Thanks, MC. Yeah, if you haven't subbed, by all means, smash that like button, hit that sub button. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to share with your friends. Yeah, mainline tracks is a good one. It's kind of hard to come by. You got to step out into that third party arena there, Jay Holla. All right, so let's go ahead and do the transformation back to alt mode. Guess I'm kind of copy and paste for life, but oh well. So the first thing you want to do, fold up the hands, get the arms out of the way. I like to go ahead and give my arms a twist to where that peg hole is facing forward. Because that will give you the door out when you transform it. Go ahead and extend the waist. Move the top out of the way a little bit. You want to open up the doors on the legs. And again, you want to move away from the hoods. So rotate the legs up as you collapse. And then again, same on this side. Collapse that leg up. Bring up the feet. Lay the feet down like this. Close these doors again. Make your connection at the hood. You're going to struggle to keep these pieces in place during the whole transformation, but just do your best. It's just funny that they stay when you don't have the roof in place. Push your chest in all the way. And this is the hardest part. Rotate the back around. Go ahead and extend your hood. You'll hear it lock in place. Now, one trick that I have found to make this part easier going back into alt mode is keep this section completely straight. Bring in your roof. Get it popped down. And then kind of work it into place from the sides. You'll still need to pull up a little bit on the door panels. And then, sadly, you're going to have to give it a shove right here. You'll hear it pop in. Now, do not push on the windshield or the roof. Push right here. I've already heard some people having issues of cracks in their windshield. So just be careful. All right, last few steps. Make sure that your arms are straight, aligned with the wings. Bring it down. And make that connection. And do the same on this side. Just make sure everything is nice and tight. And make sure your arms are straight so they lock in. See, there's something jammed up in the waist. It is a bit finicky. But that's the gist of it. I do need to clean them up. But there you go. Does anybody have any questions? Well, I appreciate you joining me, guys. Does anybody have any plans for tonight? M3, you guys going live? Yeah, it's jammed up in there. I'll get it sorted. Anyhow. Does anybody have any questions for me? MC, is you're on the way? Did you order it? What do you guys have in the old third party or mainline debate? Are you a inbox collector, MC? All right, guys. If there's no questions, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank you very much for joining me on my first live stream. I do appreciate it. Got to figure out what exactly is wrong on my leg transformation. But I do appreciate you joining me for the Transformers Kingdom Autobot tracks. I'll see you around. Hope to see you again next time.